Good morning, everyone, and happy Tuesday. Okay, so I've been looking at this and I'm kind of staring at it going, wheel, wheel, wheel. So we'll get started. Working over here, trying to figure out what the heck I did to this thing. I'm not even bother with that for right now. We're well into modeling here and trying to figure out how to even understand what the geometry wants to say. Because I'm looking at there's holes in this geometry. I don't even know. Guys. What the heck is going on with this thing? The reason we do these things in 3D, though, is so that I can try to grasp what this looks like. Hello, Cal. Good morning. I am trying desperately to figure out an interior piece of my spaceship. This is what we call the pilot house. There's a room on the very, very front of the ship that is where the pilot goes and sits down and steers the ship. And I've got the external geometry figured out. It's the internal geometry we've got to figure out. And I'm trying to figure out what I did with this. And it's kind of complicated. And I'm trying to figure out what should I do. Maybe I should just delete these faces. Well, I appreciate that. Maybe those are outside faces, though. I think those are outside faces, so I probably shouldn't delete those. I'll show you what it ultimately looks like, though. I'll bring up Daz Studio for you. Because it lives in... What I do is I build it in Blender, and then I move it to Daz Studio so I can put in bones and pieces that move so that I can render it in different degrees. I'll show you what we got here. It's the old kitty wake. Because in the end, this is designed to be rendered into a comic book, into a story. So we'll load her here. I was having a problem finding the mazer port. I have to go find it real quick. I'll show you exactly what we're talking about. We have to find one thing. We just go find the mazer port 2. There we go. Yeah. It's the same place. Mazer port 2. There you go. It's like there's 2 of them. Yes, there are. Now it has to freak out and go, we couldn't find them. There we go. I'll turn it off of that and put it into texture shaded mode. So this is what she'd look like ultimately in the end, right here. And because of the fact that it's in Daz Studio, I can control things like the flaps, let's say. I can raise the flaps or lower the flaps as I need to. And the landing ramp can be raised and lowered. And so in the comic, all I need to do is pick the ship up and, pose the ship in any way I want to pose it to make it dramatic. Like so. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. So then I just hit the render button and she renders out. And then I can just put that straight into my comic and it looks like it's rendered, it looks like it's a hand-drawn model because I've been kind of working to make it look like a hand-drawn model. So there you go. And that's how this is all working. Now, what we need to do, we've built the bridge. The bridge lives right here, kind of in this upper bump in the back. But this is the pilot house, this forward section. I'll show you what the comics look like too, since I haven't seen you before. Welcome to my stream, by the way. It's totally what that's the whole point. Thank you for understanding that, because like so many people are like, why do you do that? Like, because it saves time. I have 32 pages to do in a month, so I'll actually show you what this looks like in Page, right? Here, we'll open these pages here to show you. So this is what it looks like when it's in the comic. So I can put it like this directly in, or even over here, I can just sit it in the, and then the rest of this is all, drawn in. Like, here's my captain. I finished that panel, but I haven't finished these panels yet. So it's using the technology. Well, thank you. It's using the technology to our advantage. I have an animation degree, and when I started going to college for animation, it was right at the cusp of 3D animation taking over. So, when I started, we were doing, cells and hand drawing and things like that, which is what I was really interested in. But then, immediately, this is 2005. Immediately, everything started shifting over because Pixar and Disney were leading out with all of their movies. Toy Story and Cars and things like that were becoming super popular. So I started ending up learning 3D Studio Max and Cinema 4D and Maya, and I'm learning all these 3D programs, and I'm like, but I kind of like the way that 2D looks. I don't like the way that 3D kind of, it looked plastic, because this is what it looked like in 2005, obviously. Now things are evolving and changing, but back then, I didn't like the way they looked. So I kept working with 2D, but using 3D as much as possible to assist, because with the assistance, you can get done much faster. This isn't totally what an end page would look like for the drawing. The drawing end pages look more like this guy. So, and then I do the same thing here. I use the 3D sets with 2D drawn characters. So then I draw the characters into these sets, and these sets are 3D made. And that is a blend, and then that way I get really good results. This page took an hour. I can do this so fast once we've gotten into it and gotten the blend going. This whole the pages take no time whatsoever to do. The problem is that page we just saw was in that front room, and I need to figure out that front room. So that's where we are now, is untangling from the outside what the inside looks like. The one drawback, which you'll hear when Brent, who routinely also visits, shows up. The one drawback is, now that I've done this, it starts to bother me if they don't match. So, like, for example, the interior of the ship has to kind of look like the exterior of the ship. So the interior set it doesn't have to be connected to the exterior, but it has to have the same windows, and they have to be in the same alignment. Since we obviously can just do that, we can just flip it around. So it's kind of like, now I've kind of got to figure this out. I'm trying to figure out a clever way to do this. The inside of this room, I've got the windows here, but the inside from here, I did all of the decks so that I could make the deck plans. So that's what this is over here. Over there is the rest of the ship in pieces. But this allowed me to do this here. I'll show you this. Open. We'll go to completes. Matrix Rising. Design booklet. Deck plans. Allowed me to do this guy. Right. So now I actually know what the deck plans look like, because I was able to break the ship down, right? Here I was able to break it all down into all of its component pieces, which allowed me to make complete deck plans for it. Right. That's the problem with it, is that now that I've done this, I kind of already know that this is what that forward room looks like up here. And I kind of know what it's kind of headed for. So that's part of the problem. It's like, well, so now I've made this more trouble than it needs to be, really. Not really. It actually helps me make better things, I think. They look cooler, but they're also well, that's probably true. They're also more realistic feeling. Like, I feel like when you walk, like that scene where you just saw Captain Chang walking down a hallway, that's this hallway right here. And I mean, it's here. Let me get a red pin for you. And she was literally right there walking to this tube. So when she met Bennett, they were both here, and this is actually the set piece that I built. So you can see that the camera is looking down this hallway, it's looking at this hallway, like all of it is exactly lined up. So if you were to go through my comic, you know exactly where she is. She starts out right here in that scene, and she walks this way down this hallway, and then the scene ends up here. So, I mean, in the scene, it all works. Then she ends up here on the bridge later, and they're setting up the bridge because of the technology of my comic. So, and then this scene is cut with Mayrel, who's there. No, they didn't loop around. She starts here because this is where she gets her coffee in the morning. It's first thing in the morning in the story. So she comes down here, she gets her coffee right here, and then goes over here, and she's headed up to the bridge. This is the transfer tube through this zone right here. That's what that is. So it's a 0G tube. It has no gravity inside there. So all you do is just jump into the tube and then pull yourself up, and then you jump out of the tube at the next level. So it's a 0G tube. So she just floats all the way up to the bridge deck, and then comes out here, and then comes into the bridge. Her and Bennett, they're both in that. Bennett's the first officer. So they both get up to the bridge. Then they have to set up the bridge. The way the story works, these ships travel in a faster than light function. And when they're in faster than light, it's called in space. And when they're in space, the processors no longer work. Or the processors stop working. So the more complex the processor, the less likely it works. So the ship really runs on pretty much just cables and wires when it's in space. And then once it drops into real space, the computers come online and everything comes online, and all the holograms and stuff like that. So thank you very much. So this is the and so we've got to build a couple of sets for the comic, which is called Momentary Ghosts. In this one, we've already built this set, and so I can actually probably go on ahead and render it. It's just I haven't put any people in there. It does not sound safe. No, you need a really good pilot, which is why the third main character on here is our pilot. And her name's Mayrel Legend, and she's from a race, well, not a race, because race is not the right word, a culture of humans that up until recently has been sort of shunned. They're kind of like the gypsies or the Romani of Earth. In a way, they got sideways in a political problem about 200 years prior to the story. And good morning, Brent. Right? Something could easily go wrong. So you need to be able to, everything's a little weird in space. So when they're up in that area, it's a little weird. We've got this person, Cal, is visiting to watch today. So anyway, has been talking for a bit. But yeah, I'm explaining like the basics of you have to have a pilot up there to make sure nothing goes wrong. Yeah, exactly. At some point, the spacecraft can be put on effectively like a airplane's autopilot. You're in a space where there's nothing, and you're between gravity wells, and you can travel for days with nothing really happening. So usually, what you do is you post a guard up there. Effectively, you post like an ensign or some poor private who's first duty on the ship, and they sit up there and read a book and make sure that nothing happens. And if anything happens, they're supposed to call the captain or call the pilot. So the story takes place. Our story takes place, and I'm not going to save this because I don't want to save all those things. Our story takes place just in the beginning of this. So the first scene we see up here completes Act 1, Momentary Ghosts. The first scene we see is our dear and beloved captain trying desperately just to get coffee. That's all she wants, coffee. And they keep bugging her. I totally could. Especially since two of my races, there are 5 races in this story, 2 of the 5 races cannot operate in N-space. Obviously, the artificial intelligences can't operate because they're computers, so not you. But there's another race that turns into goo in space, so they have to be put effectively into a bucket. It's very funny. So, oh man, Raph's not going to join us. That's cool. We have many days to try this. So, Quasar Art Collective is cyborg with an AI pet. That's so. Brent has been trying to get me to add Brent in as a character, but he wants to have like a broken AI as his pet. So we will be doing this for all week. So broken. Yeah, I keep thinking about whether, do they go to the Najor when they're in the buckets and just talk to them? So we have to decide at some point in time before we start dealing with the Najor, whether that's because the chief medical officer is a Najor, and so that means that during in-space travel, the chief CMO is in a bucket. He wanted to be a pet dragon. Okay, he wanted to be a pet dragon. If you stick around long enough, you have influence on our stories. There are in the collective right now, we've got 4 of us, and we all do different art things. It's just me this morning, but a little later on this morning at about 10 o'clock, we'll get Brian, which we call Can. He's called Can online. So Cal's got to suck at operating spaceships. You could be the one who like engineered all of the in-space drive stuff. So anyway, yeah, that'd be funny. Hang on real quick. Hang on. I've got a buddy, an old college buddy I'm going to meet tomorrow. So at 11 MST. Okay. So yeah, like it happens. They always. So Can then comes in at 10 o'clock, and he'll join with his story he's writing, which I think he's in the middle of a magical girl saga where he's taken the magical girl and turned it into sort of a gritty military story, which is kind of cool. So it's as if the magical girls are used as military weapons, sort of concept. Raph is working on a couple of projects that we've got. That there are projects that he's got that I don't think he can talk about or broadcast. So that's why he's been not here quite a bit, is because he doesn't want to broadcast it because he's either signed an NDA with a company or something. So he can't even show the drawings he's drawing, you know. What I need to do is tell Raph that he can join us with just showing his face, and that's fine, you know, except that he doesn't like to do that. So there's that. We'll figure it out. And the last one is Pepper. Pepper DeLuca is a watercolor kind of, I don't want to say he's a furry artist. He's the artist style he does is very cute. It's like a cute style. Oh, look, we can buy followers. Look at us. I'll bet you that's over on KN's stream. Yeah, Pepper's out of town. He's in South Carolina right now. See, that would be a fun one. You can join us. Well, you know what? The best part about this is one of the concepts behind Quasar Art Collective is that we help. So if you have questions, just ask. You can join us. This week and next week, we are at this time, but I work as a driving instructor, and so from time to time, I have to go teach a class. I'm a classroom instructor, and so I go teach the class and stuff during the day. But we always meet at night right now, from 10 p.m. to midnight Mountain Time. It's just the daytime one from 9 to 11 is only this week, next week, and then we don't know what'll happen after that. It all depends on where I am with my school. So, but it's Brian. I've got to stop saying Brian because he really wants people to know him as KN online. So, but I know him personally, like in real life. So it's really hard to use his name. I go by Guy, and in my online time, but there's already a Guy Davis comic artist. So I can't use Guy Davis as a comic art name. So I have to use GS Davis. So that's where I am on the collective. I'm GS Davis Art. You know what we should do is make captions for that. We could add lower thirds now that say lower thirds. It actually says lower thirds. Guy. GS. I can add this. Failed to add. No refresh token cookie found. Weird. How about a ticker? Can I add a ticker? Maybe. Nope. Okay, so we can't add captions at the moment. That's kind of interesting. Fascinating. Fascinating. So that's a crash. It shouldn't have happened. So I'm going to use I have them for the old daily show, so I'll just bring that up real quick here. Once it figures out how to do this. There we go. Let's say, wake up. Wake up. Because I can do this and at least add me in. Oh, I can't upload anything. Okay, never mind. You know, XKCD is super, super popular, and all they've got is literally stick figures. There's nothing wrong with stick figures. Nothing at all. Why is it needing me to log in? Maybe that's part of the problem. Now I wonder if I can. And now I think it logged me out, and that's part of the problem. Nope. Refresh token failed. Nice. Join us. I'm having control problems. Well, that's not cool. Well, okay, here's what we're going to do. Really feel thwarted today. All right. There. You can follow me anywhere online using that. That's me. We'll get Can. When Can comes up here, we can see whether he can add or not. But at the moment, I'm having control problems. So apparently, Restream is having a real issue with me adding things to it right now. Like it keeps asking me to re-log in, and when I do, it says there's no refresh token. So that's my online handle if you wish to follow me on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, gosh, everywhere, YouTube. I'm all over the place. So branding is important. All right. So back to what trouble I was causing. So, hi, Brent. Here I am trying desperately to figure out the pilot house because it's time. We are at the point now where all I have is thank you. All I've got now is a bunch of scenes that need to be done in the pilot house. So we've got to figure this out. So the first thing I tried to do last night was to do an inverted Boolean, and I think all I ended up doing was just making a complete mess, which is, I guess, different than an incomplete mess. I don't know. Anyway, I'm not exactly sure I can read what happened in here, but like I see all kinds of broken stuff. I mean, even if I'm looking at so I'm almost tempted to just so Brent is the person who keeps me on task. So the reason he's doing the face palm is because somehow we've got to figure out how to make this work, and I'm not 100% sure I can figure it out. So why? But he's also like, but you were doing good work. The problem is I have run out of scenes on the bridge that are done. So the bridge scenes are all complete. And so I can either go to a new bridge scene, which is entirely plausible, or finish up these scenes. But if I finish these scenes, the pilot house, we can wrap up almost the first 16 pages within like a couple of days and have the first 16 pages clear. So I'm kind of the opinion of finishing this I can move to a different scene in the bridge, but that's going to go into the second 16 pages. Yep. So Brent keeps me on task. That's what Brent's job is. Self-appointed job. He's assigned it to himself. But it's still the job he has chosen. So I wonder if I could. I mean, if I look at this from this point of view here. Yep, Brent's job is to do that. That's what he does. Looking at it from like here. Yeah, you do get. Well, that's because you keep making comments about Star Wars. That's your problem. That's okay. So that came out kind of weird. I actually love Star Wars quite a bit. I'm not, but I'm a Trekkie. That's like my core is I'm a Star Trek fan. So you know, Brent's a Star Wars fan, and so sometimes we play up the classic war between the Trekkies and the Star Wars fans. So we can have to play it up a little, even though in real life, Brent likes Star Trek just fine, and I like Star Wars just fine, and there's really no conflict. But we have to play it up. Yeah, we have to keep up appearances. Okay, so I may have accidentally deleted way too much of the frame of this, which is making me. This is what I was thinking last night. I may want to try this again. Okay, we're going to try this again because I'm feeling like this didn't turn out like it should have. So, okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take this. We're going to go into object mode. We've got object mode. We're going to delete it because it's not working like we want it to. I made a duplicate of this, which is the main deck. So we've got control of this. This is the primary deck. All we really need for this room is the very, very top part of this. So what I'm going to do is, before we had done this, where I'd taken and made a Boolean of this, and a Boolean, of course, is cutting, the making a cut in the mesh. So I'm going to bring down another cube. We're going to just take the front, which is, I think, this much of that room, because the back part, well, let's cover all of that shell, because all of this is going to be the radio room and everything. We'll make it high enough that it covers the deck. We'll go to edit mode. We'll take you, bring you down to here, and then we'll go this way, and we'll bring it forward to there. Maybe actually I'll pull it back like so. And I'll pull this to here. So the idea is I'm going to bring this back past these. Well, no, maybe I'll just leave it like that, because we know that this is sort of the beak of the spacecraft. We're in that very, very front piece here. Okay, now I'm going to go to the top and grab that box because it's way over here somewhere. Okay, we'll bring it over. No, we need it actually to center, so we'll do this. Then I'll go to object mode and bring it over and align it with the spacecraft like so. And then we'll check the top part, and this time I'll be a little bit better about this, a little bit more aligned. Go to edit mode like so. Maybe even bring this in like this. I am making a messy Boolean, guys. This is going to be so messy. It's going to hate me whenever I do this. Okay, I'll bring this in. Now, all I'm doing here is giving just a little bit of room for the walls of the spacecraft. I'm going to bring this into here. And we'll bring this into there. Okay. Now what we've done is we've encased everything but the top window, which radio is always like that, yes. We're going to take this top window here, we're going to put it in object mode. I'm going to add a modifier. The modifier I'm going to add is a Boolean. I'm going to take difference, and I'm going to select the hull. Clack. Okay. Now that should have cut a hole inside it the size of the hull, in theory. We'll see. All right, so we'll back off this section, and we'll back it off even more than that. And now let's see what we see inside here, and see now. Well, now it's made a lot of walls too. So this is what happened the last time, and I'm having a hard time reading what it tried to do here. Why is it open like this? It shouldn't be open like that. Yeah, see, I got a lot of errors out of that Boolean. That Boolean did not cut right. I know that front piece is not easy, and I get it. So, wondering if maybe a better bet be going from the side here. It is scared of me. It's totally scared of me. I'm doing creepy Boolean work. You know, it's so funny. I was learning how to use all of these guys almost 20 years ago, and Booleans are still screwed up. Like, they were messed up 20 years ago and they wouldn't work. And they would work like on alternating Thursdays, or I mean, like there was no rhyme or reason to it. It made no sense. I think part of it is that the primary hull section, this guy here, I think actually has like a wall in the middle of him. I'd be willing to bet if we did this, yeah, we'd see a wall right here. That's what I thought. Which means that when this mirrored at one point in time, that's what I thought too. When it mirrored like this. So they mirrored it, or the mirror, modifier. When it, instead of mirroring straight across, it mirrored like this. So it's got effectively two inner walls that mirrored in. And that's part of what's probably messing up this Boolean. I'd be willing to bet. Wow, there's all kinds of weird stuff like right here. Most of it's because I didn't expect to use this as a Boolean. Right? I mean, like, that was the original thought process. I wasn't actually going to do that. So, and this is just going to be to mark the deck. Let's try it this time, but this time not going all the way to the bottom, and see if I can't at least read what's going on here. So we'll take a difference on this one and do that. And then see what happened. Modifier is disabled. And okay, so we errored somehow. Oh, maybe we didn't. It looks like something happened. Why did it disable it? It didn't. Okay, so it doesn't like it. That's part of it. It's showing me where the Boolean is relative to stuff, but it doesn't like what I'm doing. Let me try that. Nope. Doesn't like that either. It doesn't want me doing it this way. So what I'm getting down here on the bottom right that you see says modifier disabled, means that it tried to do the Boolean, but there's a math problem. Something mathematically went wrong. So we'll go into edit mode. Well, part of it's that. I'll go into object mode, go to this, select this guy. Oh, well, maybe that's part of the problem right there. Nope, still having a problem with it. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, right? Not math. We have problem. So that's what a Boolean is a mathematical process. Booleans really do not like it when lines match. So I've got to figure out which lines it's freaking out about. Dang it. Maybe? Result may not be what you expected. Well, but it's got a result. Let's see what the result looks like. It's like, that may not be what you wanted. I don't know. Looks pretty good. No, it looks bad, actually. Okay, well, that didn't. When you said it didn't happen like I wanted it to, you were serious, weren't you? Okay, let's take a look here. So it still has a floor, which it shouldn't have. It still has a back, which it shouldn't have. I'm getting to the point where I'm kind of right. Came for the art, stake for the math. I think you're right. I think it's the windows. I'm trying to contemplate how I can do this easier. Because I think if I make I'm not hand drawing every frame of the pilot house. That would be brutal. I mean, I certainly could. So Brent is making an allusion to this, and I'll make one more statement about that whole thing at some point. But one of the things is that I can do a page in about 5 hours. With 3D Assist, I do a page an hour. So, but all the time we have to spend, you kind of balance it out. I'm going to stay in this series for 50 episodes of 2 to 3 issues each. So there's, easily 2,500 or 300 or 250 to 300 issues that I intend to do in this series. This pilot house is in all of those issues. So it's taking a long time to get issue 1 done. But once that's done, rendering the side is going to be easy. Now, right. So it's the time is spent now 3D modeling, but the dividends will pay out after about issue 3. And actually, what I think I'm going to do, I know what I'm going to do. So Brent's saying hand draw, and actually, I think Brent's right. And Brent now can do the Spock thing. That is not what I said. So we're going to add a UV sphere. Here's the UV sphere in question. We're going to move it over here. We're going to scale it. And then we're going to bring it in. Bring it in, fellas. Bring it in. Until it matches this on the side. It doesn't have to be exact, although the closer we are, the better. So we'll bring this in a little bit more like so. Bring it up. Like that. Mm-hmm. Didn't your science advisor just say going in there was a bad idea? I did. All right. Oh, man. There we go. That is what I said. Okay, we're just going to remove the windows is effectively what we're going to do. We're going to take the windows out of this equation. We're going to take this and put this up here. Looks like the dome is slightly flattened. So I will flatten the dome. Put it here. Go this way. I'll flatten the dome down. There. When it looks wrong, it'll be fine. So that's that entry dome to that room. And that works. And then I'm going to take and we'll put another add cube. Everybody's like, what are you doing? This is so weird. No, we got it. We got this. Nope, 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 nope. We have made an error. And the error has nothing to do with this. I'm trying to decide whether I should continue or start all over and then see if I can't select and then pull these out. So the error that we have made is that these are all connected together and they shouldn't be connected together. So, because they're all connected to this deck and they don't need to be connected to this deck at all. What I will do is this. I will do that. Okay, now object mode, add mesh, UV sphere, bring that down here, add mesh cube, bring that down here. These need to be in two distinctly different units. They cannot be the same. So, but I can do this a little easier this time than I did last time, so that should make it better. One of the things that's kind of going on here is that let's get this in there and we'll line it up. I kind of did the bridge sloppily because I was going too fast. And I ended up having to rebuild it. Smoke coming through the steam. Yeah, you guys are funny. All right. I went too fast on the bridge and had to go back and rebuild it. And that was uncool because I lost a lot of time. And so now I'm kind of trying to do this in a way that does this the correct way the first time. So I don't have to do it again. Bring that out to here. Then we have to squish it to there. All right. That's complete. Object mode, U. Now what we will do is the same thing. We will shrink you down until you are the correct size for a deck and move you over until you are here. And you only really need to be here. Go to edit mode for this. Bring this down to there. And then we can bring this up to about here. And we go to the top view. And we bring that guy back over. And go to object mode for this. Bring him over. We come down here and we match him in. There we go. Edit mode. This tells us how wide this deck is, which then tells us, indeed, we need to go further in here, like to here. All right. We're not refitting these things. All of those stories take place within the first, I don't know, couple of years. So a ship doesn't get that much of a refit that fast. So we're going to go over here. We're going to add a modifier. And do it again. We're going to hit a Boolean, but this time we're going to hit union. We're going to bring those two together. So that's one unit now. Okay. Once we've done that, I'm going to take the same box that we've already used. I'm going to take this Boolean here. Whoa. Unselect. We need to say that's okay. Apply. Then we still have a box. I'm going to take the box and we're going to go like this. And we're going to go to edit mode and take the box and extend it forward like so. And extend it down like so. And go to the top. And extend it all the way out to the side. And extend it all the way out to the side. Go to the side. Go back to object mode. Click U. Add modifier. And do Boolean. This time we're going to take differential. And differentiate. And we'll delete that. All right. Apply. Now what we have is effectively just the room and the dome, right? And that's what we've got. So it's just the room and the dome this time. So I don't have any of the weird middle walls and strangeness that's going on that we had before. And the dome is clean in the front. And so it doesn't have also weirdnesses. But you'll notice that over here, I have a set of these windows, which I can use later. See the refit. So now what we can do is in object mode, add mesh cube. Bring that cube down to here. Work. And then go to edit mode. We'll let that have an opening to one end. We'll go to the top. Really need to move this guy out of the way. All he's doing is confusing me. All right. We'll go in here. Line that up to the center dome. One thing I do want to do, though, is, I guess that could be what that is, and that's inside the So, Cal, what's your cat's name? We haven't seen my cat, George. George is around here somewhere, but I think he's asleep because he was causing trouble all night. I feel like it might be an obligation of mine to... You found him on the internet. Fair. All right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to go to object mode. Take this object here, add modifier, Boolean, and let's see if I can't make this work. Cut that out of there. Say apply. Now, once we've done this, right, we have what we should have had before, which is the clean interior room, right? That's what we were looking for, right there. That's fair. So now we have the front dome without windows. And that works. All right. That's better than I had expected us to get to. So now we'll take this set, and we have a set of windows right here, right? And we'll go into naked mode. That's where we... All right. And we line these up because they should be lined up like so. That's part of our problem. I can see why we're having problems here. Because now I'm seeing that this guy doesn't align, right? And these windows were a mess to begin with. To get this weird angle and stuff like this, so difficult. So sorry about that. So they were like, when we were working on these before, I was like, you couldn't do certain things unless you were, when I was maneuvering vertices, if you're in shaded mode, when you maneuver the vertices, only this one will move. It makes total sense. But if you're in wireframe, you can select both of the vertices through the middle of an object and they'll both move. And a lot of times I wasn't catching that until after I had moved a lot of things around. And so I was like, crap, I was in naked mode. Now everything's all screwed up, you know. So that's where that came from. Boolean difference, because it irritated me a lot. Okay, the question really is now, if we set this and apply it, and I move this guy, well, how good did this turn out? Because it doesn't look like it's very solid. Yeah, see, that didn't look like I wanted it to. I got the hole in the roof. Yeah, you know what? This isn't going to work like I wanted to. I'm just going to forget it. It's not worth it. This is taking way too much time. I don't want to spend this much time on it. So what I'm going to do then is this. We're going to cut the dome, because I'm going to just simply draw the windows on the inside of this dome. That's what we're going to do. This is how we're going to solve this problem. So we're going to do star charts next. Oh, wait, what? Brian's here. Kayan is here. I need to remember to do that. Hello. Good morning.
Morning.
Welcome to the stream. The stream. The impossible stream.
This is the stream that never ends.
Yeah.
So how's it going?
I'm done with Windows. I don't know. We're doing fine. We have Cal is somebody who's visiting us today. So we got
Cool.
Brian.
Nice to meet you.
He's been with us all morning when Brian attacks. I do not know. Oh, it's actually it's the only you have to have a key for it to get in. But what we do is like you guys can just join outside and visit with us while we're streaming. And Brian, Kayan, I'm working on it. I'll get there. I will get there. Kayan and I are admins on this stream, so I guess it's locked because that way because trolls will join. I'm sure, like people you don't
Eventually.
Really yeah, eventually trolls will join, and then you'll be like, why are there trolls here? Still. Anyway, so I am going to do this. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to take this and I'm going to screenshot it. What we're going to do.
Oh, is that what we're doing?
We're screenshotting it. Yep. And I will just use this existing piece of paper. How very useful. Then, once I have done that, we'll take, we don't need you right now. We'll take in Blender, we'll take you and move you out of the way. We don't need you anymore. Wow. So many windows. So little time. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Now we'll take you and we'll go to UV mapping mode. UV map this guy, so we need to make sure that we're in the right zone for this. This is the first time I've ever tried to UV map something inverted, so we'll have to see how this goes. I need you there. Move the nose of this out of the way. All right. Here's what we're going to do. As we often say, we have to go to naked mode. All right. We have to go into edit, and we'll go into naked mode so I can see where the dome is on this one. In this instance, I actually think I want to be in this forward mode, like so. I'm just going to grab you like so. We're just going to, for right now, we're going to do this. And we're going to grab just these forward pieces right here. So Raph already bowed out.
Yeah, I saw it.
Up. Yeah. All right. If I do the projection this way, going through the front of it, that should be able to allow me to see where everything is on those windows. I don't think that I'm going to be able to pull this off the way I want to do it. It'll end up with really crappy looking graphics. And I don't want that. So, Brian, you want to bring Cal up to speed on, and Can, I'm working on it. Can, you want to bring Cal up to speed when Cal on what you're doing?
I am finishing up a page of my comic, Armageddon Divinity. Looking over what I drew yesterday, which isn't all that good, so I'm going to clean it up a little bit. And I have a lot of catching up I have to do because I have not felt like working on this due to personal life issues attacking me. I don't feel like it today either, but I'm going to force myself.
Yeah, well, I appreciate you being there and doing it. See, I feel like it thinks there's a wall here. So it censored the link. Yeah.
What censored the link?
Cal's trying to send a link of the comic, but it censored it, which is weird. I don't know what comic we're seeing, but it's been censored. So there's that. That's kind of a bummer.
Hang on, let me.
Cal, are you joining GS Davis Art or are you joining Can?
I think he's on K side.
Okay, he's on your side then. He's not on mine.
Yeah.
So I think you have a lot more control set in. Although we do seem to be getting bots in on your Twitch side, just as a FYI, it's not a big deal. We're getting about one a day, so it's not a real issue.
Are we?
Yeah, we had one earlier this morning.
Oh, yeah, there he is.
Yeah, if you're trying to join the stream, you can't join the stream. So only the people with the link to the stream can join the stream. So, and there's only 4 of us that have the link to the stream at this moment. But you can always stay here on Twitch and work with us at the same time. And then when you type, we see it and we respond like we're doing now. This isn't we started this with an accountability thing. So this was an accountability thing because otherwise Brian, Can, and I won't do our work. And so part of this is that we feel kind of obligated to get on stream and broadcast every day. And so that's one of the reasons why Brent sort of helps us by keeping us on task, is because that's the mission statement of the stream. So it's all good. It's kind of complicated to actually get your face on the screen. That's a complicated piece of this. So
message me on Twitch the link to your comic, and I'll post it in chat.
Yeah, DM can. There we go. I guess one could say, though, you have already joined, Cal. Just make sure that you subscribe to the channel and stuff like that, and you are joined.
I don't have those buttons for some reason, though I might not see them at this side.
I'm actually horrible at Twitch. I don't even know what in the world I'm doing. Luckily, Brent is a moderator on my channel, and so Brent does all the heavy lifting. To which I am very appreciative. Or to Twitch, I am very appreciative. In the last episode of Strange New Worlds, Captain Pike is like saying these funny things. He's trying to be funny and he's trying to be humorous. And the camera is panning through the front of the, where number one is at navigation and Ortegas is at helm. And as it pans past number one, she's got this smile and she goes, "Please stop." Like that. It's just like really funny. And it was just really cute. And I was like, okay, that was cool. That was cute. It was cute and entertaining. Did I think it was cute? Hey, did you get? I thought it was cute. Hey, moving this out of here. It's the bottom of this primary section there. Okay, that's fine. I can do that. You are what? Who are you?
I have no idea.
Yeah, neither do I. I feel like this is going to be harder to grab. I'm worried that the centroid of this is inside another point, like here. There it is. Pull that out. That's the roof. It's one wall. And that's another wall. That's another wall. What in the world? Inside or outside? This is inside. And also inside. All right. All right. That's the top.
Yeah, I don't know why I put that in there. Hang on. It's Tumblr. What do you expect?
Tumblr's a problem child.
Well, ever since it got taken over by new management and started to really go after the porn and all this, it really went downhill and basically shot itself in the foot.
Right.
and now hardly anybody uses Tumblr.
Well, that's an interesting side effect. I mean, it's kind of one of those things. It's like people are like, no, we don't want porn. And okay, well, we'll get rid of it. And then they get rid of it, and then nobody uses it anymore. Find that interesting.
Yeah, because they listen to a minority of users.
Yep. Who complain. I actually am kind of having a discussion with one of those minority of users, sort of folks, and it's the ongoing, but it's not godly. Well, you know what? That's your problem, not mine. It's like, it's okay that you think that that's the case, but it's not my problem on that one. It's not fair to make other people become that way.
It's not, you know what? It's not your will. If
Right.
you want to have free, um, you
Free will.
if you want your religion to be free, you have to let everybody else be free too.
That's a
It
hard
doesn't
one to
matter.
comprehend. Yeah. All right. This is to the side. Irk? This side? Uh, it's reversed. So it's this side. Yes? No? Maybe so? What the? It's upside down. I'm having a hard time because it's upside down. Here, let's do this. Like this. That way I can see it better. All right. So it's you and you. You're on this side. You. You're on this side. I think part of our problem is these guys need to be rotated as part of our issue. File sharing makes sense. I mean, we're not knocking you on this.
What's up?
And he's saying he uses it for file sharing when Discord won't send it through to friends. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
And these guys are upper forward walls. Those are bottom walls. And all of this is the most important stuff right here. That's where all of this is going to be so important. Okay. And that's a roof. I appreciate that. Thank you very much, Cal. So this is the downside. And we'll flip you over. There we go. Moving you up on this. There we go. Moving you down.
Thank you.
Yeah. I feel like we're gonna have a back wall back here. I'm gonna have to just build. Like me. All of these guys then are tiny, and because they're going to be the outside walls on the outside of this simulator, so to speak. So I don't need to worry about these guys at all. So I can take these guys and I can shrink them down at some point. So figure out how to change my tool. Somewhere I can bring up the toolbox, but I've lost it again. So every so often I come in here and it just decides to change all of the things. And then I have to remember what all the keys are to bring up the toolbox and stuff like that. I thought it was T, but it's not. So there's that. We'll figure it out. At least for the
And then
moment.
Mr. T comes in, and then, stuff starts happening.
And then he pities the fool.
Yeah.
On Reddit, I hang out all the time on r/Gen X, and they post all kinds of things that make me go, "Oh yeah," or whatever. And it's usually Mr. T memes and things like that, and I'm always like, "Yeah, I remember that." Just say no to drugs. That's all you have to do. That's it. That's all. It solves all your problems if you just say no. There are no problems. Now pull this away and put it right here. Because then I can bring in, I'm going to actually pull this, bring it right here. We'll deal with that a little later because this guy now can move down into here and he fits. Now these guys can just move over here. Then that way I don't have to worry about this. So, all right, here's what we're going to do because we're going to do a lot of experimentation on this to figure. We're going to do some experimentation, Brian.
We're going to do science to it.
We're going to do science. Stand back. We're going to do science. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to go into object mode. Now we got object mode. We're going to export as a wavefront object. I'll see you later, my friend. We're here all the time. Limit to selection only. Set props.
Day and night, literally.
Literally day and night. We'll be here tonight at 10 o'clock Mountain Time. Interior textures, new interior Blender files. I'm going to call this the Pilot House. And then I date these usually 6/2002 because now we're getting to the point where I do this all the time where I fix these things. Alt-Log. Right, we're going to export the object and we've limited to selection only. So only the thing that's selected. Then we're going to come over here to this. We're going to go back into edit mode. And that gives us this. And we're going to click down here at the bottom where it says UV and say export UV layout. We're going to come over here. 3D props and ships and sets and everything like that. We're going to go to textures. Kittywake Pilot House. I call this one 6/2022. Export. All right, go over to Daz Studio. Right, import. Interior Blender files, right? So this is going to be Pilot House 6/22, and we're going to see how badly mangled it is. Because anything could happen at this point in time. Except, how badly mangled is it? Let's find out, shall we?
Nothing up my sleeve in presto.
Pretty badly mangled. Okay. So it didn't translate well. There's a fix to this. So we'll go back into Blender. I just didn't want to do that because it's kind of a pain. So we'll go back over here to Blender, go into object mode. And we have to go back into modeling. And in object mode, we can find the guy. There he is. Go into modeling. And go into object mode here too. Add modifier. And what we're going to do is we're going to triangulate. And that's going to put triangles in all of those areas that were apply. There we go. And now we'll try it one more time. Export. Wavefront object. This is going to get old. So on the last time I updated this guy, I crossed my controls for my two monitors. So now my number one monitor is this far monitor way over here. And like Blender always brings up all dialog boxes to your number one monitor. So now every time I save, it brings it up way over there. And it's like, oh, man. It's like this could be a fix, but you decided not to make it a fix at all. Dang it. All right. You export object. Now we'll come back over here and we'll say import. This is why I put this off for so long. I didn't want to mess with it. It's such a pain in the butt. There we go. And it's all open inside and not acting funny. Okay. We go over here, we go to here, and we say open. You know, that's a heavy sigh. That sigh was so heavy it like tried to hurt me.
Sorry.
It like stepped on my foot.
This page is annoying me.
You're like, also, my partner on the screen's annoying me. It's all good. I'm just teasing you. I'm having way more fun than I need to have on this one. All UVs, and let's do 3,000 because it won't look good unless it's 3,000 by 3,000. All right. That went out that way. So now we'll see if we can't open it. Man, I gotta say, there is nothing like good. There we go. Good. What's its doodly wops. So doing this the correct way, where all of the file formats are in their correct location. I have not taken my blood pressure meds, which I can tell because one of the things I do is my ADD meds while I'm at it. And I can tell because I'm sitting here going, the thing with the thing and the thing. It's getting to the point now where I can't actually tell when the medication works, but I can certainly tell when it's not. Oh, hey, guess what today is?
What?
Solstice. Happy solstice, my friend.
Oh yeah, it's the longest day of the year. Welcome
It
to hell.
is. Right?
Oh God, natural light.
See, that's your problem. I love natural light. I'm actually up on my office is here on the second floor with this huge window and lots of light coming in. I love this stuff. Definitely, I am Donna Davis's kid because that was her thing. Mom would open every window, all the shades. It was her thing. She was like, "Oh, I can't stand it when it's so dark." So, yeah, it was a thing. All right. So now the question is, can I make all of this stuff make some sense that we can use? Maybe. Maybe. We'll see. I think the first thing I want to do is this. I go in here and I'm going to say new layer. The important widgets are this, 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 and this. Then this, because I'll get confused once I get in here. So I need to make sure that I have a clear understanding of where everything is in here. And while I'm in good brain mode, see, I already messed it up. While I'm in mostly good brain mode, clearly not what's going on right now. Okay. We'll do that. This, 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 and this. There we go. I feel like my distortion is going to get worse as I go out further.
Maybe.
Maybe individual pictures? I don't know. Like, I could probably do a pretty good job of getting the front two windows lined up, but I feel like the other two on the wings are going to get weirder and weirder. I only need to do one side. I've got to stop thinking that this is I've got to like do 62 different sides of this. I only need to do one side because the other side's going to mirror. Okay, well, then let's just do that. It's not going to get any better by me crying about it. Okay, so let's go on ahead. We'll grab the windows from before. Ones that are just kind of hanging out, being weird. Go to object mode. We're going to grab you. Bring it this way. Grab you and bring you right around here. Talk about this. You know what I could do is this. Since I'm not, don't let me save this, okay? Because if I save this, I've ruined like the original model. So for goodness sakes, stop me from saving it. I'm saying it really more out loud rather than really to have you do anything. But
Save it. No.
right, you're like, save it. Damn it, Brian, you're not helping.
I'm such a huge help.
And by help, you misspelled the word pest. Yes, I get it.
Hey, you've been doing it to me for the last couple of days.
I didn't say that I wasn't a pest. All right, I'm gonna do this. Oh. All right, now that I've done that. Object mode. Now all we have is just the windows themselves, and that's it. Mm-mm.
What's up?
I hit Control Shift S instead of Windows Shift S.
You know, you've been talking about the algorithm
Yeah.
and how that affects a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's also one more part to the algorithm that doesn't get talked about that is just as important,
All right.
and that is
I'm listening.
that's the effect the bots have on it.
Yep. You getting eaten by bots.
Because like they also affect the algorithm because they have it's like one computer that is infects more computers, and that's the bot network now.
Mm-hmm.
It's this massive influx, and so that distorts the algorithm.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Well, and that's the thing. that's what they were saying on the whatever it was, the documentary I was seeing, was the biggest problem is no one's in charge.
Yeah.
So all you have to do is be the highest bidder, and you've got control over mines effectively. So you just need to pay the most money. And that's what's so dangerous about it. And that's what makes it so dangerous.
And then what I was telling you was the step below that. So you have the people that pay the highest bidder, and then it also goes after what's the most popular tweet. And that's the bot network coming in and going, hey, look at this, 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 look at this.
Yeah.
And that distorts things too.
It totally does.
And so whoever has control of the bot network can control the algorithms to say, hey, this is like super popular. You should show this everywhere.
Right. All the time.
All
over
the
and
time.
over and over. Mm-hmm. You got it. You got it. That's the biggest problem that we've got with this.
So not only do you have no one watching things, you have the algorithm that is flawed in its making, and you have a AI and bot controlled network of computers that will just go in there and say and retweet noise.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
So you have one person that legitimately makes a tweet, and then you have the bot network picking it up and retweeting it ad nauseum.
Right. Yeah, and whoever pays the most will get put in front. I noticed the other day, I was on Instagram and I saw 2 posts from people I actually follow, and the remaining 100 or so were from, you should follow this person because you like the other people. Never saw anything you posted, never saw anything anybody else posted. But I got a whole lot of, this is someone that's similar to someone you like. And I was like, okay, but like literally, I'm not even seeing my people anymore, the people I do like. You're telling me who I should like, but I'm not seeing the people I do like. And that's an issue. Are you getting, is this coming up because you're getting flushed from the system?
Yeah, a little bit. And then you look at like the Twitter hashtags, and almost every day it's, hey, look at this. This is the conservative views, and this is the and it's like, and it's not good. It's not healthy.
No. Well, and that's part of what they were saying in the documentary was, since nobody's in charge of it, then the people who have the most money are able to flood you with whatever they want, which is right now becoming our political sides. And our political parties are able to flood the networks with things that are distorting all of the dialogue. I was having a discussion with a friend of mine who's super conservative, right? He's a Trekkie, but he's super conservative. He's now at the point where end days are here because he's Christian. This is revelation, and there's nothing we can do. The liberals have just destroyed everything. They've ruined the world. There's nothing left to do but wait for the fire. And he's literally there. And
What?
it's because he's being inundated by this. And it's the other side isn't any better, really. The liberals have come to the conclusion that the conservatives have bought every election. They've distorted everything. Everything's ruined. The democracy is trashed. And you know what I mean? Like, it's all extreme now. It's everybody's been pushed all the way to the edges. There's nothing in the center anymore. There is no center. And if you're in the center still, people sit there and go, dude, you shouldn't be in the center. Everything's bad, you know. And that's concerning to me. I mean, we're moving towards a civil war without purpose. There's no real reason for the Civil War. I mean, all of the things that are out there are made up.
Yeah.
It's all designed to get money. And that's what's going on here is everybody's just trying to get money. And so it's becoming this horrible, horrible grab for money. And if you say anything like that, people are like, do you not see what's going on? Here's this horrible thing. Here's this horrible thing. And I mean, it's not like and it almost becomes sort of a, why are you on their side? I'm not. I'm just trying not to get into the hysteria, you know? And I'm not trying to do that. I'm not trying to say that everything is, you know, and that's part of what's bothering me is that you try to minimize it. You try to say, hey, it's okay. Things aren't so bad. Look at this from an objective point of view. Like, objectively, every day, like 100,000 people on average are coming out of poverty. You know, we've got better literacy today than we've ever had. It's safer today in America than it was in the 80s when you and I were kids. There's far fewer murders. There's far fewer killing. You know what I mean? Like, there's even fewer wars. But people can't see that objectively because we're so busy concentrating on the fact that 4 people were slaughtered and there's video of it and it's in your face and in your eyes. And so nobody can actually say anything about it because there were 4 people slaughtered and that's bad. But in the 80s, there were 100 people slaughtered, you know, and it's just that nobody filmed it on their cell phones in the 80s. So you didn't see it. And I'm having a hard time because, like I said, this guy legitimately thinks we're at the end days. We're over. We're done. It's over. There's nothing we can do. It's you know, the whole world's been ruined, and it was all ruined by those liberals, those horrible liberals. You know, it's like, okay, but it didn't, and we haven't, and it's not. And you know, he's like, I fundamentally disagree with you, and I'm like, oh okay, but what do you do about that? I mean, are you going to, and that's what I said to him. I said, you know what, as long as you don't have an action plan, this is academic. You know, you and I can sit here and say, I think that the end times aren't coming. And you can say, I think the end times are. And then when the 4 horsemen show up at our doorstep, we'll go, oh, okay, you were right. I was wrong. But if you're going to go do something about it, then we got a problem, right? Because then it's somewhere along the line, it's not the 4 horsemen that's at my door, it's you at my door.
Yeah.
Then that's a different story, you know? And that's where I get worried, is because, like, if it's going to be that, we've got a problem.
Yeah, we're getting more of that happening.
Right.
Where
they're taking action to prevent the evil liberals from doing something, and it won't be long before the liberals start taking action to prevent the evil conservatives from doing something, and then we will literally be at civil war, and we brought it upon ourselves. The world is better today than it's ever been, and we ruined it by getting way too caught up in things that we shouldn't have gotten caught up on, you know?
Well, and things that should be regulated and aren't.
Right. And that's part of this. Stop. I mean, did you know that we once had a law that required news agencies to regulate their news?
Yes, we did. And it was killed in the 80s by the Reagan era.
Yes, it was. So, and it's
Specifically
ironic
by
that the number one complainers of news being biased are the people who, on the same token, were the party that was in charge of getting rid of the bias, or encouraging the bias, I guess I should say. The ones who actually caused it to happen. And I'm like, I remember when it went down thinking, well, this isn't going to end well. That's the other thing that makes me so mad. I knew this stuff was going to happen. I said it, and everybody was like, you're just being stupid. You know, I'm like, well, okay. And now here we are.
Yeah.
It really did go down. I mean, Glass-Steagall going down, you know, I said whenever it went down, I was like, well, that's not going to end well. And all of my Republican friends were like, come on, the banks have a right to make money. You know, we can't regulate things. You can't regulate morality, was what they always said. Hey, Grana. I don't know who Grana Saber is. But they think
hey,
you're
Saber.
amazing.
How you doing?
Okay, so it's Saber. Saber it is. I'm okay with that. Yeah.
How are you doing this morning?
You're like, I got guy warmed up on politics. I apologize. I'll back out of that. I got all mad about that. All right. One of the things we're going to do is this. This is a trick I remember doing before.
Don't worry. I'm just sitting here stirring the pot.
How is this different from any other time?
I mean, you aren't wrong. Saber, how often do I stir the pot in the streamers' chats I go into?
You know. All right, we're going to do this. We're going to do this. We're going to outline the selection, and draw on the border, and we're going to do 8. Let's put 4 pixels on either side. There we go. Select this. And then we'll come through here. We'll do this. Make sure we're at 8. We'll cross the gap. Cross this gap. And we'll cross this gap. We'll cross that gap when we get to it. There's a lot of gap crossing going on here. It's a thing. Tell your friends. All right. Now, what we should have is questionable windows. Oh, yeah, I should probably do this because this is an upper window too.
Windows you like to have around.
Right. Questionable windows. We'll see whether this worked or not. And then the rest of this, so we'll save as. We'll go JPEG. We'll say Pilot Hall House Walls. And we'll see what this looks like. Into the diffuse colors, we'll bring this up. No, we need to be there. Interior textures, pilot house walls, open. All right. Hey, don't want to alarm anybody, but it looks like those walls went in, the windows went in correctly.
Oh no!
Right? Like
whatever show you do.
I know. A little worried.
10 days are here.
Right? Uh-huh. Turn down the specularity. Ooh, turn down the angle too, because it's a little rough. There. There. And we'll go to ambient. And we'll say pilot house walls. And we'll turn this up to 99%. There we go. All right. Now, if I create a new camera, so I'm going to put the camera here, camera. There we go.
Camera.
Yep. That's the one. Grab that camera wherever it went. There we go. We'll put it right in the middle of this. Move to the camera, and we need to pivot around this center point, please. There we go. We need to be able to see what it looks like in here. And that means the camera needs to be pivoted correctly. All right, now we're working with Mazzola. Here's the back of the room and the upper dome. For crying out loud. Upper dome is, geez Louise. There we go. So the dome looks good. That's the window on the top of the dome. Can't get it to stop pivoting around itself. Focal length 35 millimeter. There we go. Okay. Still working in real life over there, Saber. All right. So now what we've got here is these are the interior windows of the pilot house. They actually look like they did what they were supposed to do. So they look lined up relatively decently. Kind of shocked. Now we can put the pilot house windows in, and I'm going to turn them green for the benefit of this. Actually, I'm going to make them clear.
Yeah, I get you. We're working here. Working hard or hardly working, we can't tell.
Can never tell. Could be either. Could be neither.
Possibly. Did you ever get unbanned from that entire situation? See, I could just picture the deadpan of that whole situation of Fallen going, you just shot that man in the face. I saw it. A murder was just committed, folks.
Is that a ban because of dialogue or
Uh, so some
sort of?
people in chat were, from what I gather, they were taunting the streamer, like they were trolling the streamer pretty badly.
Oh yeah.
And my friend Saber was the one that got the ban, even though she didn't do anything because of a misclick.
Ooh. That sucks.
Okay. Well, I'm currently on stream. As soon as I'm done, we'll go.
Although we are at 11, so we could be off stream here right away.
Yeah.
I don't have all the I don't, because we were off stream sometimes and we're not streaming others. I didn't set up Alexa to change all my lights, so there's no indicator now of when we are off stream. So cool. Well, what we will do is, if you want to join us again, Saber, we'll be back here doing this again tomorrow morning and tonight. And then, we'll be back tonight at 10 o'clock Mountain Time, and we'll be back tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Mountain Time. And we will keep working until the comics are done. And since I am on issue 1 of like 200, it's going to be a long time before that ever happens.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us, though. We appreciate it.
Talk to you later.
Also, Cal, we appreciate you joining us. And Brent, we know you're out there somewhere. We'll see you at some point, too. And so we'll see you guys, but I'm going to go to lunch because I'm hungry. So I will talk to you later.
Talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye.